Hello and welcome to the first episode of my new series, Duke Nukem Evermore, where I will be using the Duke Nukem Tabletop role-playing game I made, Tabletop Meltdown, to create my own version of the infamous Duke Nukem Forever. Using general plot points from the video game, I will attempt to make the story much more interesting and loyal to the original series when Duke was still a grade A badass.
Come get some.
All dice rolling and gameplay will be done as I record the journey in my notebook, right here, of which then I will share with you guys. So I'll be reading it kind of like a storybook. Because this is an organic experience, I won't exactly know what's happening as the story unfolds, which is the best part, because anything can happen, and even Duke might die. Who knows?
Damn.
I'm pretty inexperienced with reading aloud, so this is going to be a huge learning experience for me.
Fasten your seatbelts.
I'll give my all, but please bear with me through the growing pains.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
I'll share a link to the rulebook in the video's description below if you're interested in running your own games, as well as a link to my how to play video I made a little while back. Please leave a like if you enjoy the experience, as I really appreciate it, and it will help get this video out to other Duke fans who maybe want to see Duke Nukem Forever in another light. So yeah, let's let the action commence.
Let's rock.
Hey, Future Stefan here with a quick heads up that the following content is intended for an adult audience. There's some naughty words here and there, quite a bit from Duke's mouth,
Bitchin'.
and just descriptions of violence and stuff. So, you know, sorry, Mom.
Shit happens.
Yeah, if you don't like that stuff, then heads up. Well, I hope you enjoy the
It's
video.
game time.
Burning down like a meteor through the crimson skies, Duke Nukem sees towering skyscrapers steadily sweeping up towards him. Fires rage among them, large hellish flames that threaten to engulf the entire city in a suffocating black smoke. As buildings zoom past, and he rapidly accelerates towards the dark pavement below, Duke reaches instinctively for his jetpack. To his grim surprise, however, he realizes its absence. In fact, he finds he is stark naked, with nothing to slow his descent. He lets out a terrified scream as the concrete rushes into view. His eyes squeeze shut, awaiting the fatal impact. Sploosh! Suddenly, Duke finds himself floating in a gory sea of blood and entrails. Duke can barely see a short distance through the murky depths. The gurgled scream of a woman is heard behind him, and Duke spins around just in time to see the anguished face of his lost love, Lonnie, as she is pulled away into the darkness. Gritting his teeth, Duke frantically swims towards her shadow as she is pulled further and further away. Suddenly, the shadow grows immense in size, and ominous, glowing red eyes peer back from the depths at him. The beast opens its large, gaping maw filled with sharp, jagged teeth that go all the way down to its throat. Lifting his hands, Duke realizes he is holding tightly onto a chain gun cannon. He draws the barrels up towards the monstrosity as it creeps closer, and begins pumping the steady stream of bullets through the liquid, tearing into the creature's unflinching face. A deep, bellowing voice echoes in Duke's mind. "You can't save them." As the jaws begin to close around him. Grotesque bubbles drain from Duke's lungs as he desperately hammers more lead into the beast, to no avail. With a gut-wrenching snap, his entire world goes dark. Duke lunges up in his bed with a start, his heart pounding in his chest, and sweat pouring down his face. Looking around, he finds himself in his bedroom, the curtains fluttering from the breeze slipping through the open window. Tightening his fist, he feels the rough grip of a Glock 19. Duke lets out a sigh of relief as he sets the gun back on the nightstand beside him. Rubbing his eyes, he throws off the blankets, then makes his way to the kitchen for a cold one. "Damn these nightmares," Duke murmurs as he grabs a bottle of Jack from the cupboard. He pours the whiskey into a small glass, brings it up to his lips, and takes a swig of the bitter liquid. Leaning over the counter, Duke watches the ice float slowly in the glass until an icy breeze brushes against his flesh, and Duke turns to shut the window. Reaching for the frame, however, Duke stops dead in his tracks, his face flushes white with shock. His grip tightens, and the glass in his fist shatters with a mix of blood and alcohol. Looming over the brightly lit city of Vegas, pulled from the depths of the dark nightmare, awaits the enormous and menacing alien mothership. Duke rushes to his bedside, arms his pistol, then begins tearing through the nightstand, producing 2 additional magazines. Just as he turns to retrieve the rest of his gear from the closet, his phone begins to ring. Pressing the cell to his ear, a gravelly voice emits through the tiny speaker. "Duke, it's Graves." "I know who the fuck it is. I don't have time for this shit. The alien bastards," Graves cuts Duke off, "are here to propose a peace treaty with Earth. We received a communications link with the alien empire a few days ago and have agreed to set up a meeting to discuss the arrangement." Duke grinds his teeth. "Fuck that! And fuck the EDF! Those interstellar sacks of shit don't deserve anything more than my boot up their collective asses." Duke racks a bullet into the chamber of the block. "Stand down, Duke. That's an order. I know how much this fires you up, and I don't like it one bit either. But we both have orders from the president not to engage. Those bastards had their asses kicked pretty hard last time, and might think twice before pulling that shit again." Duke rolls his eyes. "It's obviously a trap. They're just waiting for our pants to drop before they fuck our asses." "The EDF won't allow that to happen, Duke. We'll play their little game for now, but I'll be damned if we're gonna let those alien scumbags get the jump on us. The President has arranged a meeting to take place at the Hoover Dam tomorrow evening around 5 p.m. Why the Hoover Dam? Hell if I know. Keeps it far away from the White House, I suppose. At least our Nevada EDF branch will be close at hand if shit hits the fan." Duke snorts a laugh. "Relax, Duke, and get some sleep. Tomorrow's gonna be a long day." The phone clicks. "Peace treaty my ass." Duke tosses his cell phone onto his bed, then turns towards the window to face the mothership. "You slimy maggots aren't fooling me. Not for a single second. Make one wrong step, and your entire species will have to be scraped off the bottom of my boot." Duke glares out the window for a moment, then turns towards his bed. Sitting down on the bed, a picture of Lonnie stares back at Duke, her eyes piercing into his own. Duke abruptly stands back up, then feels a trickle slide down his hand. He glances down at the bloodied limb, shards of glass still protruding from it. "Where'd I leave that damn bottle?" The sun begins to rise in the misty morning. Having stayed up the whole night, unable to sleep, and sporting a light buzz, Duke decides to do some quick reconnaissance. Duke throws on some street clothes, a light blue shirt with some jet black jeans, compliments of his signature motorcycle boots and cool shades. He grabs his black leather jacket and heads out of the door of his penthouse located on the 25th floor of the Lady Killer Casino, owned by the king himself. Walking through its beautiful velvet-lined hallways, Duke makes his way to the elevator. The doors open to a small, round elevator with full glass walls showing a bird's eye view of the gorgeous Las Vegas city. Lights glimmer and shine in the dim morning light. The sun crests the western mountains, and dark clouds, a very rare sight in the desert, form overhead with orange and black hues. Duke hits the button at the first floor, then looks back out the window. The immensity of the mothership nearly blots out the sky, stretching over the entire city, threatening to choke it out like toxic smog. The elevator begins to descend rapidly. Duke notices a dozen or so more large battleships flying out of and around the mothership. "Making your invasion plans, huh? Go ahead, make my day." Upon reaching ground floor, Duke heads straight for the exit. On his way, he catches worried muzzles being passed between the early morning gamblers. Nearly to the entrance, Duke hears a pair of very distinctive and very annoying voices calling to him from the check-in stand. "You-hoo, Dookie!" The voices, speaking in sync with one another, belonging to the Wholesome twins, a couple of porn stars Duke has been hooking up with lately, though he's been growing quickly tired of their ditzy personalities. Duke smiles. "Another time, ladies." "What's going on, Dookie? Are the aliens gonna, attack us or something? Those buttholes better not ruin our photo shoot tonight, or we'll be, totally freaking pissed off." Duke's eyes roll behind his glasses. "Everything's gonna be fine, girls." With that and a small wave, Duke makes his way out of the door. The city is rather bustling. Many of its citizens stand outside of their homes and businesses, with looks of terror on their faces. Traffic, both ground and air, is really congested as well, with many lined up bumper to bumper. Might be best to take the old cruiser out for a ride. She must be feeling a bit lonely by now. Duke shoots up a glance at the mothership. "Stay right there, sweetheart. Daddy's coming to visit." With that, he makes his way to the parking garage. Duke stops by the parking attendant's booth. A young, preoccupied teenager lazily looks up at Duke from his portable game console. "What do you want?" "Need the key to the yellow bay. Gonna take the cruiser out." A sly smirk forms on the boy's face. "Oh, you want the red key card, actually. You see, we had to move it to another bay. Leaky roof, you understand?" Duke throws an irritated look at the kid. "Got no time for your games right now, Jimmy. Yellow key card, now. Or I'll turn you into a universal key card by shoving each and every one of them up your scrawny little ass." The kid scowls, tosses the card to Duke, and returns to his game. Duke shakes his head, then walks down to the bay doors. Duke slides the card into the reader, and the door quickly rattles its way up. There, sitting under a single hanging light, is one of Duke's most prized possessions, other than his guns, of course. A sleek, cherry red cruiser motorcycle, fit with a turbo booster and a built-in shotgun holster. Duke walks over to the bike, drawing out the chrome-plated shotgun, examining it, then sliding it back into the holster. Opening the saddlebag on the back, Duke finds 2 small medkits, 6 shotgun shells, and 2 more pistol magazines. "Cool, let's roll." Just as Duke settles into the seat, his stomach bellows out, reminding him that he's pretty damn hungry. He kicks the bike into a rumbling start, shifts it into gear, then speeds out into traffic. Sweeping past the congested traffic and winding down the curvy roads, Duke heads for his favorite sushi restaurant, Sensiku. Upon arrival, however, a close sign hangs on the door. Ink is handwritten on the sign reading, "Went to check out the aliens at Duke Burger. Come back later." Duke turns his head back towards the towering spire in the distance, a giant hamburger settled on the top, visible from anywhere in the entire city. The large mothership nearly scrapes the tower, and even more spaceships dot the sky. Think I'll help myself to a burger with extra bacon. Chomping down on a fresh cigar, Duke speeds down the highway. The clouds become darker, and tiny droplets of rain begin to lightly tap on Duke's jacket as he parks the bike and makes his way to the entrance of the tower. The building's interior is rather intricate, with milky white marble floors, tall painted ceilings, and huge windows presenting a fantastic view of Vegas. A large oak desk sits in the center of a large, open room with a gold and silver chandelier hanging overhead of a busy-looking receptionist. Duke looks around for a way to the upper levels and spots an elevator to his right just past the desk. Duke walks over to the doors, clicks a cheeseburger-shaped button for the top floor, and a quick chime of his Rockstone grab bag plays when pressed. Duke chuckles. Cute. After a minute, the doors open with a small ding and a small crowd departs. Duke and a few others exchange places with them, and the door closes and the elevator begins to ascend. A small voice pipes up. "Oh my God, it's Duke Nukem, Dad!" Duke glances over to see a small preteen boy and his father staring at him with starry eyes. Duke smiles and nods. "Duke, I'm a huge fan of yours. I've seen all of your movies, played all the video games, and can't get enough of your action figures. Will you please sign my book?" To his own amazement, the kid actually produces a copy of Duke's autobiography, Why I'm So Great. "Damn, kid! For a hardcore fan like yourself? No problem." He clicks a pen from his pocket, signs the front of the book with gold ink, then reaches into another pocket and reveals a pristine pair of shades. "And here, a future alien ass kicker needs to look good." He hands the glasses to the starstruck boy. "Holy hell! Thank you, Mr. Nukem!" He turns over to his dad, bubbling with excitement, and immediately throws on the oversized shades over his small face. Finally, the doors open to a lingering smell of cooking meat, and all the passengers disembark. The restaurant is quite large, with tables strewn about the room, and another very large room to the side, with spiraling slides, ball pits, arcade machines, and the like. The whole room is white with red and gold accents and Nukem memorabilia all over. The place is unusually packed. Many of the patrons are lugging around cameras and frequent flashes light up the room, with many news broadcasters on the scene. From his current vantage point, it's hard to make out the scene everyone is crowded around, but he's got a pretty good idea of what it might be. Duke walks to the ordering line with 3 others ahead of himself. Duke glances over, but the crowd is still too thick to see through. A few moments pass, and the line moves forward a little bit. A small opening appears, but he can only make out some vague shapes. The line inches forward some more. Duke hears a loud snort emit from the crowd. He turns over and sees hunching over a messy table 3 alien pigs, slopping up a heavy amount of burgers, shakes, and fries. Suddenly, Duke sees one of them quickly throw up his head from the muck with an abrupt oink, then turn his head to meet Duke's gaze. The whole room seems to drop dead silent as Duke's eyes begin to burn and his heart begins pulsing adrenaline through his bloodstream. The Glock in his jacket almost twitches with anticipation. Glancing at the nearby cameras, Duke is reminded of his presidential orders. Excuse me, can I take your orders, sir?" Snapping back to reality, Duke turns to the counter and notices a considerable gap in the line ahead of him. A young woman with a burger hat on her head and an annoyed look on her face stands behind the cash register. Duke casts a quick look back at the pigs, who have gone back to slopping about their chow. "I just lost my appetite," and he turns back the way he came. Duke begrudgingly makes his way back to the elevator. He pushes the button to the first floor. Resisting a very strong urge to return to the aliens and tear them to pieces, Duke rolls his neck with a loud pop, then preoccupies himself by checking his watch while he waits. The golden hand shows the time as 2:15 p.m. The meeting will be starting in a few hours. "I'd better hurry. Don't want to miss the party." After what feels like an eternity, the doors finally open, and a couple walk out. "Thank God," Duke sighs as he steps into the elevator, staring out the window to distract himself while the doors slide shut. Just as they're about to seal, however, a large, hairy arm reaches through the opening, grabbing the doors and forcing them back open. An alien pig, twice the size of the 3 sitting at the table, steps into the cramped elevator, nearly taking up half its space. The 2 exchange enraged glares at one another as the door slides shut again, and the elevator slowly begins to descend. The cityscape stretches to meet the dark clouds behind Duke, and a smile forms on his face. "Well, well," he cracks his knuckles. "Guess I'm ordering takeout." Both lunge at each other. Duke throws a heavy jab, but the pig dodges to the side, then grabs Duke and lifts him up over its head. Duke struggles to break free from the meaty hands and manages to loosen one of his arms free. The pig tries to throw him at the window, but Duke takes a handful of the beast's hair and holds on tight. The pig swipes up to grab Duke's arm, but it's interrupted when a fist slams into the side of its sweaty face, dealing 6 damage. The pig grunts, then throws his own punch back in retaliation, but misses as Duke twitches to the side, using the momentum to roll out of the pig's grip and land with his boots on the ground. The pig snorts, wipes blood from his snout, then sweeps in with a heavy punch. Duke swipes under the attack, then delivers his own quick jab to the pig's eye, dealing a whopping 15 damage. The beast lurches back, then throws up his arms in front of his face to block any additional blows. Duke, however, has other plans, and slams his boot into the little pig downstairs, dealing 12 more damage. The alien winces in pain and lets out a sharp squeal. To Duke's surprising dismay, however, the pig recovers quickly and lands a blow straight into his gut, dealing a beefy 23 damage and knocking the window out. Duke flies back and slams into the window with a small crack, his shades falling crooked on his nose. The pig lumbers forward. Duke shakes off the pain and pushes the glasses back over his eyes. That the best you got, pussy? Duke throws a punch, but the pig manages to deflect it with his hand. Duke readies a riposte, but is unexpectedly grabbed by the throat and lifted off the ground. Duke struggles against a tightening grip by straining his muscles in his neck. As the pig raises his free hand into a clenched fist, Duke slams a knee into the beast's exposed stomach, dealing 13 damage. The pig grunts, but strengthens his grip. Duke chokes, then gets lifted up higher over the pig's head. The alien reels back, then throws Duke into the window, damaging Duke for 8 health points and creating a large rupture of cracks in the glass. Landing with a thump on his side, Duke looks over up at the elevator panel, showing the elevator only halfway down the shaft. Fuck me, Duke grunts as the beast delivers a heavy kick to his ribcage, dishing him a total of 11 damage. Duke winces, then rolls behind the pig. Jumping up, he shoots a leg straight out into the side of the alien. The pig tries to turn to catch the attack, but is too slow and receives a blow to the ribs, causing him 14 damage. With a sharp squeal, the pig stumbles back a few steps, then slams into the window, shattering it to bits. Watch your step, Duke retorts as the beast stumbles out of the opening and plummets limply into the pavement 10 stories down. Duke hears a small, wet splash, followed by many terrified screams below. Duke lets his arms drop to his side, then slumps against the elevator wall. Ah, shit. He spits a wad of blood. Duke reaches into his pocket, producing a bent cigar and a match. He looks down at the cigar with a frown, then shrugs and puts it in his mouth. He strikes the match off the side of his boot, then lights the stogie. As he does so, his eyes flicker up to a sign on the opposite wall that reads, "No smoking." He stares at the sign for a second. Fuck it. And that concludes episode 1.
Yeah.
What will happen after Duke unwillingly is forced to break the peace treaty before it's even had a chance to start? Find out in the next episode of Duke Nukem Evermore.
I've got a bad feeling about
Please
this.
leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification below if you'd like to keep up with Duke's adventure. It could be his last.
These guys don't stand
Finally,
a chance.
if you'd like to play your own game with Tabletop Meltdown, the link to the unofficial rulebook can be found in the description below. Until next time, remember, always bet on Duke.
Hail to the king.